What is going on, Thumbthumbs? This is Thumbbrother2, and I am back for week 3 of the PGL NU Season 1. That's right, you guys. This week, the Salt Lake City Swampbirds are going to be taking on Texas and the Portland Timburs. We're currently sitting at a 1-1. I believe they lost the first week to Serene, and this last week they were able to pick up a victory. And so now it is week 3, and we are 2-0, so I really want to go ahead and continue this winning streak, just because, I don't know, just, winning's always nice, but, I gotta show PGL what's going on from LDL, so I definitely want to put in the best work. This is actually a very, very fun team that I put together. Really came up with it on the spot out of nowhere, but it's really looking nice. But before I get into our team that we're going to be bringing, I'm going to go ahead and break down Texas's team, what I think he can bring, what I think of each Mon, which it's very, very scary. He has a very threatening team, honestly. This is a very challenging week for us, because he can honestly bring any of his Mons except for one, I feel. So, if you guys are excited for this team builder, as always, definitely leave a like down below and comment what you think I should bring for this week. Looking at his team, we're going to go ahead and just start off right up at the top. We are going to start off with the Slowbro. Slowbro, of course, Rain Man is who we had this previous season in the LDL. Such a powerful bulky Mon. Usually run defensively. In fact, I believe in Texas's team builder, he said he would mainly run it defensive bold with Regenerator, always with Regenerator. So if we can hit this thing on the special side, we definitely have a chance. Of course, Scald, Shadow Ball, Psychic shenanigans can ensue. Psyshock as well, we have to be careful for. And on top of that, we do have to be careful about any Calm Mind setups, which could be very, very problematic. Especially if he decides to set up Trick Room, which I don't believe he would, considering that we have such a really reliable Trick Room team, especially with our Alolan Executor. But all in all, very, very bulky Mon, very hard to take down. We definitely have to Toxic this thing as quickly as we can, even if he wants to slack off stall us. The Toxic damage is just slowly going to be adding up more and more as time goes on, so we definitely have to make sure that if we can Toxic this thing on a switch out or a switch in, that we do so. Up next is going to be Druddigon. Druddigon is a very, very tricky mod for us this week, as he can run it either offensively or really bulky. It just really depends on what he wants to do. It's got Mold Breaker, it's got Rough Skin, and I believe Sheer Force as the 3 possible abilities. The ones that I'm really more scared of is definitely going to be the Rocky Helmet Rough Skin, just because it really puts a really bad stop to our Incineroar, as it usually is seen as a physically offensive attacking Pokemon. Druddigon is actually one of those only Pokemon that can actually take on Victini one-on-one, which is actually really, really scary if you think about it. But of course, Dragon moves Earthquake. Earthquake is a thing. Gunk Shot is also a possibility, so we do have to be careful about that. Sucker Punch is also a potential, and it has the possibility to set up Rux and run a Dragon Tail set. And then there are things like Hone Claws as well for an offensive type Druddigon. So like I said, this Druddigon can really do a lot, so we have to be very, very careful. Up next is going to be Sneasel. Sneasel, once again, is just one of those really tricky mons. It outspeeds our whole entire team already at base 115 speed. With Fake Out, Life Orb, it's going to be doing a lot of work. Ice Shard, Ice Cool Crash. Knockoff is going to be very, very problematic, because some of the items we definitely need on our team to handle this thing. But if this thing is going to be holding a sash, we definitely need to get up rocks to break that sash, deal 25%, and then from there, it's pretty frail to handle after that, especially since I do have 2 really good forms of priority in Hariyama, as well as Hariyama with Bullet Punch and a Cellrock with Lycanroc, and then there's Fake Out potential as well, so we definitely have a lot of possibility out there with us. Up next is going to be Sock. Sock is definitely one of the mons I actually am really scared about. I believe a Sturdy boost. It does get sturdy, and then it can use a berry to boost its stats. Very, very powerful. Usually seen as like a Choice Scarf user, so Choice Scarf close combats definitely hurt our team, as we are really, really weak to fighting types. Just all around for our team, so definitely something to look out for. Venusaur is his next pick. Venusaur is really, really cool because it can get access to Chlorophyll, so if he wants to Z Sunny Day, he gets double speed, plus the +1 speed as well on top of that, so he's in some sense running +3. But this thing can be physically offensive, especially offensive, physically bulky, especially bulky, just depending on how you want to run it. Knockoff, Earthquake, Sludge Bombs, Giga Drain, Synthesis, Sleep Powder, shenanigans, like all that can be a big possibility. The only thing that is going to be troublesome for him is trying to figure out, what set he wants to run. and at the same time, I've really prepped for all sets in general, just to make sure that we can really take out a Venusaur very quickly, whether it be defensively, offensively, of any regard. So I'm not too worried about it, because I feel like I do have a lot of nice ways to deal with it. We just might have to take a hit or two in order to fully kill it. Up next is going to be Drifblim. Drifblim is really fun for me to deal with this week. Just because it does get Unburdened. Once again, another Unburdened Mon. So many Mons, I guess, have Unburdened and UN below, so that's why it's so popular in VGC. But no, Unburdened Tailwind is a huge possibility. It's got like a 145 or something, 148 HP. It's super high, but it's not the best defenses. However, if he wants to run it like Bold with an Assault Vest, you know, there's a lot of potential there. He can also, it has this ability, something, Flame something, I want to say. Let's see. Flare boost. So if it gets burned, it actually ends up dealing, is actually able to deal 50% more damage to its special attack. It's like, it gets like it ends up being specs, and so if he Tailwinds and gets a burn with like a Flame Orb set, it's going to be very challenging to actually just handle that thing all in all, as it can then start hitting our team very hard. But up next, the next two Mons kind of go into a pair I'm going to talk about, as they really work well together. Trexus even said this himself. He loves this pair with Magmortar and Electivire. Now, I'm not one for Magmortar, but I know what Electivire can do for sure. Magmortar, I know, gets access to Psychic, Earthquake, if I'm not mistaken. Very blokey Mon. He usually see it run Assault Vest to really kind of eat up a lot of different types of attacks on that side. Then there's shenanigans like with Fire Blast. And yeah, it's just very powerful and very difficult to take down if he does bring a bulky set. And then Electivire, on the other hand, can be really offensive. While it does suffer from getting that speed drop from being an Electabuzz, it's still 95 base speed. So we have to be very careful if we do decide to throw off electric type moves, because Motor Drive does give it a +1 speed, which then it's going to be outspeeding all of our team, including Scarfs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, disregarding one Scarfer. But still, this thing can be physically or specially offensive as well. It's got Earthquake, Cross Chop. It's got access to Dragon type move, if I'm not mistaken. Earthquake, Psychic, Flamethrower. Like, this thing is really it's a wide range, wide array. I can't say that. A wide array of moves that it can possibly use, as well alongside Magmortar. So if this duo comes, I'm not going to be surprised for sure. Up next is going to be Pincers. Pincers is just another Stealth Rock setter. Swords Dance variant is usually what you see. However, even after Swords Dance Quick Attack, it does do a lot to us, but it's not going to get any stat because it's not Mega Pinsir, so we have that going for us. And all in all, it's a pretty frail. We do have to be careful unless he wants to run this thing Scarf Moxie, however, so that's the only real set that I'm worried about. However, I feel like I have the right mons to go ahead and deal with it as well. Up next is going to be Cosmog. I just chose a random color. I know it's going to be the black variant, the shiny variant, but Cosmog is... honestly, I'm not too scared about. A lot of people usually don't. A lot of people usually have trouble running this thing. It's usually seen as another Stealth Rocker, if not mistaken, or like an acrobatic set without a item holding. And so there's a couple things that Trexus could do with the Minior. However, even with a even with a standard Shell Smash set, unless it's 100% like defensively bulky and it wants a Shell Smash, we can easily go ahead and knock it out of its shields, knock it into shields down. In fact, if not even pick up a knockout. So that's really cool for us. And last but not least is Spinda. Spinda's really weird. Spinda, I think, is Spinda is a rapid spinner, I know for sure. Let me take a look at his team more in detail here. As far as Spinda, it is a stealth, it's a rapid spinner. Gets own tempo, Tangled Feet, and Contrary. Contrary is pretty cool, but it really can't do much. Drifblim can also defog, but Spinda's like his really reliable way to get rid of hazards, so I'm really banking on the fact that Drifblim doesn't bring defog because he wants to go for another set, and he doesn't bring the Spinda at all, because we are going to go very heavy with our hazards this week, hopefully. While he does have 3 Stealth Rockers as well, I'm not too worried about him in the long run. But as far as the mods, I do believe he's going to be bringing Slowbro, 1000%. It definitely has to come for him. The Magmortar, the Electivire have to come. The Drifblim, the Venusaur, and then I want to say either the Sneasel or the Sock, just because both of those mons really fit, really run they run almost the same kind of thing that you would want. Pinsir could also be thrown in there. Judagon, you know, could be shifted somewhere in that team as well. But like I said, he could really bring anything and everything, so I'm definitely going to be very cautious when it comes to his team. But like I said, I try to plan for everything, and we are going to go ahead and get started here with our team. Starting up first, recently added to the team, you guys. There should have been a video going up yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, about this trade. So I ended up dropping Glaceon, who I accidentally picked up out of stupidity, because I didn't think I had an Ice type when I had Pilot Swine right there. So I ended up dropping Glaceon, and I ended up picking up this guy. So please welcome Frank, the shiny Garborder. I actually really love this pick. Picking it up now, it gives us an awesome poison type to use. We get access to spikes and toxic spikes, to previous setups that we didn't have before. And it gives me another good defensive mon to work along my other cores, so I really like it. And it is a resistance to fighting type, and I absorb toxic spikes in the future against any opponent, so I really like that. But we're rocking out with a almost a fully defensive set here. We are running about 56 speed on this thing, however, just because we're running 56 speed on this thing only because what was I gonna say? 56 speed to outspeed. I think it was a min speed. I want to say it is a min speed Venusaur with a little bit of +4 speed. Yeah, a min speed Venusaur with +4 speed, because it maxes at a base 80, and we're like at 76 or something like that, 75. So just something to creep over those base 80s just a little bit. I think Drift Blend is also base 88 before it gets its Burden Boost. So we got that going on for us. We got Gunk Shot and Seed Bomb, just pretty spread for everything. Gives us a really good stab. We have the potential to Poison Wind Gunk Shot. Seed Bomb just lets me hit a couple things decently hard. Venusaur really does wall us all together. However, he can't Toxic us, and the best thing he can hit us with is Earthquake, and that shouldn't be doing too much unless he does decide to go for a Swords Dance. But then we also have Spikes. I really want to try and stack up hazards. Like I said, he doesn't have that big of a hazard remover, so if I can get a Spikes early game, really start to wear things down, it's going to be really beneficial. And then Toxic, just so, like I said, one of the best things to handle this thing is going to be that Slow Bro. So if I'm able to catch the correct switch in besides that Venusaur, I can definitely go ahead and Toxic this thing on that switch in, try and risk it, and hopefully it pays off for us in the end. I unfortunately messed up with my genning. I will say I didn't change the nature on this thing, so it's going to be serious nature, which is stupid. I can't get to my Jenner in time. I can definitely try and make this thing more so, what was that I wanted to make it? I wanted to make it Impish Nature. So if I can definitely get that set recreated, I definitely will. But for now, it's just going to be Serious Nature. I only realized that after I received my Mons. So that's unfortunate. And we're holding the Rocky Helmet as well, just to go ahead and get a little bit more recoil damage on things, break some sashes, especially against, you know, like the Sneasel potentially wanting to be sashed, or even the Pinsir as well. So, and even the Sturdy on the switch in for the close combat against the Sock. So I really like it. And then we also have Stench on there for the ability. Stench actually allows any of my moves that don't have a flinch potential to have a 10% flinch potential. So I really like that. I'm not going to be banking on flinches like I did with my Little Cup battle at the end of the season, which I think you guys should have seen already. But yeah, that's going to be one of our walls this week. And then going on, we are going to be moving on to Felicity, our Mesprit. I love this thing so much. It can do so much. It's not officially like really offensive, but it's got some bulk to it. It won't be. Once again, it's got 56 speed, Timid Nature to go ahead and outspeed any of those base 80s, and even speed creep a little bit over. I believe I want to say it was the Magmortar by a point, so that's going to be really nice if the Magmortar does decide to be min speed. But I got Stealth Rock on this thing 1000%. Like I said, I got a Hazard Sack against him. Helps with the Sneasel taking 25%, the Drift Blim, the Magmortar as well, the Pinsir, and it just really works out well. And if I'm able to get up both sets of hazards, it's going to be really nice in the long run. Even if we get like 1 layer of spikes and Stealth Rocks, that's doing a huge amount of damage. But if I get like 2 or 3 sets of spikes and then Stealth Rocks, ooh boy, his Pokemon are going to be hurting. Let me tell you what. But this is a very offensive bulky set. I got a lot of HP investment along with side of that speed. Like I said, Timid Nature with the with the max special attack here, so it's going to be hitting really, really hard. Of course, we got Levitate leftovers, and then we have Psychic to hit that Venusaur primarily, and just for a good stab, I can really two-shot a lot of things on this team besides the Sneasel. Of course, I have Ice Beam for more coverage for, like, say, the Dredagon, as well as that Minior, if I'm not mistaken, and but then I also have Thunderbolt to follow it up for kind of the same kind of thing, but this actually allows me to hit the Slowbro now. I just have to be a little bit more cautious if that Electivire is going to be there, in case we want to fire off a Thunderbolt, because like I said, Motor Drive just really wrecks us, and I really don't want to take a Motor Drive. I don't really want to deal with the Motor Drive Electivire for sure. But I like this set. We are going really offensively this week. I realize that with Trexus and the way he battles, he just kind of stays in and really attacks what's in front of him. So if I'm able to make the right reads and just start off really, really strong, get my hazards up like I said, play to my advantages and stop him from setting something up, we should be able to do fairly well. But heading on to the next Mon in our roster, we are going to be bringing back Gato Blanco, a Choice Scarf set this week. Gato Blanco this week, you guys, is really, really cool. I believe we outspeed, with Jolly Max Speed, we outspeed the Sneasel by 1 point, if that thing is Jolly Max Speed, minus the Scarf, of course, but this is just a very, very standard set. 252 attack, 252 speed, 4 in special defense, just because that's just where I felt like it should have been. Nothing big, I mean, just 1 point. But I got Flare Blitz, Darkest Lariat, Earthquake, and U-Turn. Of course, Flare Blitz hits things like the Sneasel, the Venusaur. We can hit the Drifblim really, really hard. The Pinsir doesn't want to take it. Even the Minior, I don't even think wants to take it. Doesn't really want to take it. And then the Darkest Lariat definitely helps us with the Slowbro. We one-shot the Drifblim there, and we can easily hit the Magmortar and the Electivire really nice. And if anything wants to try and set up on us, like say the Darkest Lariat against a Minior, we should be able to still outspeed, if I'm not mistaken, because it ignores all the stat bonuses, so there's that for us, so I'm really, really liking that. And of course, U-Turn is there just for general momentum. I really want to try and actually U-Turn, I might want to lead Incineroar to try and U-Turn out, potentially break any sashes that could exist on the Sneasel, or even see if the Dredagon's going to be there at all to set up Stealth Rocks. I just need to see, you know, who he's going to have there to set up Stealth Rocks against us if he does decide to go ahead and do so. But everything's been pretty standard so far, but these last 3 mods, actually these next 2 mods are very, very different from anything I've run before. So like I said, this team is all about hyper offense, and what better way to bring some hyper offense than to throw in a fat little speedy cow. That's right, I am bringing an offensive Miltank this week, ladies and gentlemen. 2%, rocking the leftovers just to kind of throw him off if we're offensive or not. I really want to make sure that he thinks that I'm defensive if I want to switch in and stuff, but we got Thick Fat on there, of course, to handle things from that Sneasel, from that Magmortar. We can actually eat up a lot of hits even though we are offensive, so it's really, really nice. We have a good we have a lot of good natural bulk around it. The one thing that does kind of scare me, of course, is going to be like a Focus Punch, a Fightinium Z, or like a Focus Blast Fightinium Z from Magmortar, Sneasel, or that kind of stuff, and of course Sock, of course, as well. But we have Body Slam for general stab, get some paralysis off, which would be really nice. Earthquake hits a lot of things on his team, including that Venusaur, the Magmortar, and the Electivire. Don't really want to take those. And then I have Ice Punch specifically for things like the Drifblim as well as the Minior. I wanted to run Scrappy to try and hit that Drifblim, but then I realized how viable having Thick Fat on 2% was, so I decided to opt with that instead. And then Heal Bell, of course. I really have a good feeling that we could be burned from Scald Burns, or like Will-O-Wisp from Drifblim, or, you know, something like that. And so having Heal Bell just as a general, just having it around just really, really helps in the long run. And it really works with my team, because I am not bringing an orbed Toriyama this week, so there's that. But I'm max speed, max attack with Jolly Nature. So we are absolutely outspeeding the Magmortar and the Electivire, barring them being scarfed. The only things that really outspeed us are going to be the Sneasel, the the Minior after it gets its shields down ability, and any scarfers. So that's kind of crazy that this fat cow is going to be putting in the work here and is going to be outspeeding so many things. Like, seriously, this is so crazy to be bringing this set, but I'm really, really happy. I'm really happy that we are bringing this set. But now moving on, like I said, alongside 2%, this next set is also really strange, but it's something that we could potentially set up mid to late game to really help us just pretty much sweep the rest of his team if we so want to. I'm not going to be 100% reliant on it for sure, but it's definitely something that it could happen. But we are actually going to be bringing a Normalium Z Belly Drum set for Jelly Rolls, our Hariyama. So if you guys don't know, Normalium Z Belly Drum actually fills up your health and then gives you the 50%. So, we get filled up back to max health, and then we go ahead and get to +6. So if we've taken a little bit of damage, that's perfectly fine. We just gotta, so no matter what, we can guarantee to get it off unless we've been faked out or something like that. So I really like it. It's an Adamant Nature, 252 HP, 252 attack. Adamant Nature, like I said, we're running thick fat on this thing as well, just to help with the mag mortar and stuff. And this is also where heal bail really helps, because I can go ahead and switch out if I really want to guarantee that we we don't get burned, or I can just easily switch back in. But alongside the belly drum, we have bullet punch, +6 bullet punch to everything except, I want to say, the mag mortar and the slow bro. Does so much. Like, we pretty much two-shot everything on his team after that, if not one shot after that. So having bullet punch with that priority after a belly drum goes up is so crazy good. Alongside that, I have Ice Punch specifically for the Venusaur, and for the Driftblim, and then Close Combat just for general stab. I can hit something really hard. Yeah, it does lower our defenses, but nothing, nothing if anything, except for maybe that Slow Bro is living a +6 Close Combat. So I could have opted for Drain Punch or Knockoff, but I felt like the power here was really necessary. Like I said, this is really just kind of like a gung-ho kind of Pokemon this week, just so we can set it up, just start firing off, start putting dents into a lot of things for sure, because the next Pokemon and the final Pokemon on this team that I feel like I can easily keep safely in the back and bring it in to full-on sweep the rest of his team. I definitely just need the Venusaur to go down, and I should pretty much have the Venusaur and maybe the Druddigon for sure to go down if he does decide to bring them. But this last Pokemon right here is going to be Thea, our Lycanroc midday form. Thea is going to be Choice Banded Adamant. So because the Sneasel and the Minior are going to go ahead and outspeed us by, like, you know, 5 speed points, or yes, yeah, 5 points or something like that, 5 to 20 points. I decided to opt and go for the just the Adamant Nature, because we can definitely speed creep up on the Electivire, which you guys do see. I have 236 in speed, 12 in HP, 252 attack, 4 in defense, 4 in special defense, just so everything is rounded off nicely. And this puts in the hurt. Let me tell you what, I have to just, it's kind of like the same concept with the Hariyama, just a little bit better, because Cellrock one-shots the Sneasel, it two-shots the Sock, one-shots the Driftblim, two-shots the Magmortar, two-shots the Electivire, one-shots the Pinsir, one-shots a Minior and shields up, even in its Meteorite form, and then one-shots the Spinda as well. That's absolutely nuts. That is by far the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I love it so much. We also have Fire Fang on there just in case we want to deal with the Venusaur, Crunch if we want to deal with the Slowbro, or even catch the Driftblim off guard. And then we also have Joe Run, of course, for a good one-shot against the Magmortar and the Electivire. So this is really fun. This is a fun team for me. Like I said, it's really super offensive. We really have a bit of bulk alongside Garbodor and maybe a little bit of Mesprit, but all in all, it's really nice, you guys, to be running these different sets. It goes to show that I really want to use these mons differently and just not the same kind of sets every single week. So yeah, that's gonna be our team. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think about the team. Do you feel like we can pull off a 3-0? Can we keep the victory streak going against the Portland Timbers? Let me know down below, guys. Also, if you're new, definitely subscribe, as I try and post Pokemon content like this all the time for you. But I'm gonna get up out of here. The battle should be coming up tomorrow. That should be a Sunday. So I'm gonna get up out of here, like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Thumbbrother2, and I'm out.